Welcome in, everyone, to episode 50 of the Memes, Dreams, 32 Teams podcast. We are back with another episode. I'm Justin,
I'm Eddie.
and
Go Braves.
we have hit the
50.
the 50 mark, the half century. I know the Braves play in an hour, and that's why we're recording early. I get it, Eddie. Okay, I get it. It's Game 6 of the World Series. Go Braves. Screw the Astros. Anyways, go Braves.
Go Braves.
Eddie's got me saying it like 3 times a day now, and that's without a game being on. So this episode may be a little short. Depends on how quickly we get through things, because I'm trying to make it to where Eddie can watch all of the game. So
You're all right.
but we'll jump straight into everything. So news and injuries like normal. Trade deadline, and the injuries are continuing. So it's kind of crazy. Von Miller was traded to the Rams for a 2022 second and third round pick. And the Rams also released Deshaun Jackson. By the way, the Rams have 4 picks. They have 4 picks in next year's draft.
I mean, they don't care about their picks, obviously. I mean, it's looking like they're going to have 30th pick, 31st pick, 32nd pick anyway in this draft. So it's like, so what? But they have their defense.
I don't like it, because if you look at that team, Von Miller's not even the best defensive player.
No, it doesn't make sense that they would do that, but at the same time, why not? I feel like they got him for a steal for 2 picks, and they dropped Deshaun Jackson.
Not even a first round pick. I know he's been injured and he's old.
He's still Von Miller.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald's going to drag enough attention away, and then Von Miller's going to drag the rest of the attention away. Even if neither of them get a sack for the rest of the season, there's still 2 more guys on that defensive line. And quick maths, that leaves a 1-on-1 at best for those last 2 guys.
And then if you end up throwing the ball, then you end up throwing it at Jalen Ramsey. Like, come on. Stop. And they got Matthew Stafford. Like, why? Why in the NFC? Go to the AFC.
Yeah, it's looking like, I'm sorry, Cowboys, and Cardinals. It's looking like a Bucks-Rams NFC Championship.
I would say that, but the Bucks have not been looking good, and they lost to the Saints.
This is true.
And that's the next set of news. Jameis Winston tore his ACL after the season. So
yeah,
I feel really bad for him, because he was like actually playing pretty well for like the first time he's having like a good season. Not like I'm throwing a lot of touchdowns, but a lot of picks.
He's had a good bit of like a lot more good than bad, which usually we see 50 from him. But he's had a lot more good than bad this season. Now he's just, he's gone. But he was dancing in the locker room, and I don't blame him for that.
Yeah, I don't...
It's an ACL. I mean, you can still walk on a torn ACL. You shouldn't.
Yeah.
But you can.
That's with a lot of injuries. You shouldn't do a lot of things.
That's also true.
But another giant injury. The Titans lose Derrick Henry. Early reports said at least 6 weeks. A lot of people are saying for the entire season. Mike Vrabel is saying, if we make a deep run in the playoffs, he can come back. So, like...
It's like, at best, 6 weeks. At most, 10 weeks or something.
It's like...
And 10 weeks would put us at week 1 of the playoffs, and that is pushing it.
I don't know, man. With his build, his size, if anyone can come back, it's him. Right? And just, like, come in and run for 400 yards in the first round of playoffs, and everyone's like, were you even injured?
That would be one of those things of like, oh, he missed the last 12 weeks out with a torn ACL, comes into the NFC Championship game or the AFC Championship game, and then 3 touchdowns, 250 yards, and an interception somehow.
No, he's a forced fumble. They threw a pick, and then he just stiff-armed the cornerback.
And then all you hear the next week is, that doesn't look like that injury hurt him very much.
Yeah. But they did sign Adrian Peterson, which I think makes sense.
Fingers crossed the waivers go through for me, because I have Derrick Henry on 2 teams. I'm picking up Adrian Peterson on both of them.
With AP, like, he's a similar style running back, let's be honest. Just the older version.
Plus, like, 8 years, I think. No, they just replaced the best running back in the league with the best running back of the last... top 3 running back of the last 3 years, or 20 years.
If they can get... I was telling someone this. If they can get at least 60% of AP's like peak performance, it's a wonderful pickup.
And like the thing with the Titans is they've been extremely run heavy because of Derrick Henry. It's not because they have to do it because they don't have a passing game. They are just as efficient through the air.
Like, why?
So the fact that they have Adrian Peterson who can come in, and I feel like now that he's bounced around through multiple teams, multiple different systems, he knows how to. He's a system guy at this point. He's no longer the Adrian Peterson he was, but he can come into any system and excel. And he's coming into possibly the best position he can.
He's
So they're going to
honestly,
lean on him, but they're not going to lean on him
I
100%
don't think
like
there's a
Derrick
lot
Henry.
of pressure on him.
No, because they've got Tannehill and the wrecking crew through the air.
Enough
They've
about
got a defense that's not going to allow too much. They struggled last week, but we'll get to that.
enough about the
Anyway,
Titans. Russell Wilson has the pin removed from his finger, so that's a huge step in his recovery. They're still looking for that Week 10 return, but we'll see. The Vikings lose Danny Hunter to a torn pec. He's out for the season, which is a huge loss for that defense. It's just a tough loss for a Vikings team that has lost a lot of close games.
yeah, who's literally, even still, a possession every single game for this season has been through a possession. That trend continues.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately for them, I appreciated it. Calvin Ridley is stepping away from football for an indefinite amount of time. He didn't say how long to focus on his mental health, which
More power to him.
yeah, like I'll say this, like we need to talk about mental health more. So like if this pushes you to talk about it, awesome.
Yeah. And I feel like one of the biggest factors on that, just really quick,
Mhm.
about said Hunter Henry, Hayden Hurst
Mm.
on the Falcons is a big, 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 big mental health advocate.
Yep.
So I'm sure they have had plenty of conversations that eventually led to this decision. But more power to Calvin Ridley. Props to Calvin Ridley taking that step.
Yeah, there's a lot more
Hope
players
he's
that are starting to come out,
yeah.
which is just absolutely wonderful to see. Because even Jay Glazer did a talk with Lane Johnson about it as well, and I haven't got a chance to look at it, but they Sunday morning before the noon games they had like a full segment on it. So hopefully we're trending in the right direction about mental health.
Different kind of mental health.
Yeah, Sam
Sam Darnold's
Darnold.
is in concussion protocol, and yeah, that wasn't a good thing to watch.
No, it was a bad hit.
It was a bad hit.
I mean, that was going to happen with how much Sam Darnold's been running. Like,
Yeah, I mean it's the same thing we've been saying about Lamar Jackson. Just it hasn't happened to Lamar Jackson yet.
I guess he's built like a truck, apparently.
Hopefully, it never does happen to Lamar Jackson, but
True.
this is what it leads to.
Very true.
So he's out for. We know how concussion protocol works in the NFL. He could be back next week. We may not see him this season.
I think they're saying he should be playing next week, but like you said, who knows? Someone who is not playing this season, Packers lose Robert Tonyan to the season with the torn ACL. It's a huge loss.
It's a huge loss, and another nasty one to watch that they showed about 16 times after it happened.
It's weird because like it's a huge loss, but at the same time, Aaron Rodgers like he doesn't matter who's on the field. He's gonna throw touchdowns. I don't know why.
I want to say it's a huge loss, but exactly that. He could be throwing to sixth graders and somehow get 370 yards again.
He could make me look good. He'd be like, stand right there, and I'd be like,
you're at least somewhat athletic.
You're giving me a lot of credit. I appreciate that. Miles Sanders has an ankle injury. He's on 3-week IR, but the Eagles had a good running game this past week. I mean, they played the Lions, but another running back, Mark Ingram, was traded to the Saints, so now they have the old Zoom and Boom back, and I mean, he looked good.
He looked
in his first game back. So,
and he's been dormant this season, I believe, and for a good bit of last season, he didn't do much either.
So I don't know.
Props to him. He was a big factor in that game.
Mm-hmm. So hopefully he continues that trend because the Saints need it with Winston being injured.
Yeah, Saints are gonna have to. Unlike the Titans, they are gonna have to lean towards that side of the ball a lot.
Very true. And the last bit of news, this came out early today. It's Tuesday morning. Henry Ruggs is out indefinitely after an early morning crash. Don't want to touch too much on it, but really sad
Move on.
situation.
See what's up with that.
And
Terrible.
but we don't know when he's going to return to football. So
Praying everyone's okay.
that is, yeah, that's the best way to put it. But we will jump straight into Week 8 recap. Thursday. We were watching the game. AJ Green was not. Green Bay wins 24-21 in
Why
Arizona.
Are you gonna say it like that?
Well, and let's be honest.
I still don't know.
Kyler Murray threw a perfect ball, like back shoulder, like right in the corner of the end zone, like the front corner. It was like a perfect throw, but AJ Green was looking that way.
I want to say, like, usually when something like that happens, it's a blown route or the quarterback had to scramble out of the pocket and try to force something to happen. No, he just didn't look. He didn't turn around.
He just didn't exist.
Props to the defender on that. That was a great interception,
Yeah.
Douglas. But dude, that he'd be running sprints all week. He should be running sprints all week. That was so bad.
Yeah.
No, don't even run sprints. Just hold the ball up and make him look at it for an hour a day.
Just cut him.
Okay, we'll take him. We're down a couple of receivers.
The thing though that like really shocked me about this game is obviously we knew Rodgers was going to go do his thing. He does it regardless of who he's playing, right? The thing that shocked me the most was how good the Packers defense was against this Cardinals team.
Just Packers in general looked very good against Cardinals because Kyler Murray's only 67% passing, 275 yards, which sounds good. No touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Take out that one at the end that should have been an interception, not a touchdown, should have been a touchdown, not an interception, but still. Kyler Murray, the Packers defense did really well this game, just in general.
It really seems to me sort of the Cardinals have been very fortunate. Like they were 7-0 before this game, and there have been a lot of games that Kyler Murray hasn't been playing well, but their defense has sort of bailed them out. It sort of seems like the trend for this team is they're gonna live and die by Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to put it. Like they have a mediocre run game that scored 3 touchdowns, but only 74 yards. Like they fumbled once. I don't know. It's just,
and it's not even one of those like they didn't have a lot of yards because they didn't have a lot of field to go. No, they didn't get any turnovers. They didn't have any takeaways. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to go the full length of the field, at least half the field, for majority, if not all, of their drives. And there's just not a lot of production this time around.
It's actually crazy. The total yards, Green Bay had 1 more total yard.
And it was a good game. Overall, it was a good game. And
it was a great way to start the week.
Just that play. Oh, dude, AJ Brown. I don't understand how you don't do that. I mean, I gotta imagine that was the play call the whole time. Was first look AJ Green back shoulder. I'd have to imagine that was the play call.
It has to be, right?
I don't know what else they would do unless he's covered, and then they look for Zach Ertz or whoever else is.
Like they could have thrown it to Hopkins if he was on that play. I don't fully remember, but
yeah. But I have to imagine that was the play call, and both sides of that pass and catch should have known that. I'm going to go to the corner. I'm going to go back shoulder. The ball's going to be there after 7 steps.
I don't know, man.
So what happened?
To me, it felt like the right matchup, the right play call. Everything.
They did everything right. They did everything right except look at the ball.
He even could have like swatted the ball,
and
they would have had another attempt.
Yeah,
and then if they didn't get that one, then kick a field. But
it's like he just assumed the ball was not coming to him. Like he was unless that was the play call for him to be a decoy, so he never thought to look at the ball. They went 94 yards on that drive for that to happen. They started on their own 1-yard line, got all the way down to the 5-yard line, and that's how it ended. And I don't even know if I can say the pass was, yeah. The pass was definitely intended for AJ Green, but AJ Green was just not
It
ready
was,
for it
and
for
it was at the
whatever
right
reason.
spot too, because it was like shoulder height. It was
Everything, it was literally back shoulder right here. All he had to do was turn around and look at it.
he had
And
to
AJ
turn
Green's the
around and
player
put his
that
arms
needs
out, and he can.
AJ Green's the player that needs a quarter of a second to locate a ball, and if it touches his hand, he's gonna grab it. And he just didn't turn around.
It sucks.
This isn't a good job to the Packers. They played great on both sides of the ball. Aaron Rodgers, who we thought he was, Packers defense did amazing. I hate to keep harping on this one play, but this one play lost them the game.
I was literally about to bring that up. That like, obviously we're only talking about the last play, and it sucks because I think the Packers played really well up until that very last drive, minus the game-winning interception.
Yeah, and I mean that's bound to happen. That was what 57 minutes into this game. Everyone's tired.
I could see this matchup happening again in the playoffs.
I could definitely see this matchup happening in the playoffs and having a similar outcome where it's within a possession, possibly even the same score. It's just so hard. Oh man,
I don't know, man. It
was
it
bad.
hurts.
AJ Green has better have some kind of discipline from that because that was pitiful.
It was. I don't know, man. I don't know. But to, unfortunately for you, being an Atlanta fan, a very pitiful game.
Yeah, it wasn't good at all.
Carolina went into Atlanta and they won 19-13. Obviously, we said earlier Sam Darnold left the game with a concussion. They still didn't have CMC.
This whole game was just bad. Nothing about this game was really good. Chuba Hubbard was about the only bright spot of this game.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was bad. Sam Darnold, before his exit, 130 yards, no interceptions, no touchdowns. Matt Ryan, 146 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions.
I don't know, man. It's just
our amazing kicker missed his first kicker this game, or missed his first kick this game.
which still wouldn't win you the game.
It was just no. I mean, it could have changed the tide a little bit. I don't know what ended up happening after that. I mean, the game started out with a Carolina fumble, and then it was field goal. Like
this game, I don't know, man.
We missed
It's
that field goal, and Carolina ended up going to score the go ahead touchdown.
I do
So
want to
had we
say
got that, well, something else could happen.
I do want to say like about this week before we keep diving into it is a lot of the things that, at least for me, it could be the same for you, that like I thought was happening in the NFL just didn't go into week 8. Like I thought Arizona was going to beat Green Bay because Green Bay was out wide receivers. Yeah, it's Aaron Rodgers, but Arizona's looking good, right? Arizona lost the game. They didn't look great during the game, let's be honest. And Green Bay looked better than I expected.
Yes.
Then you come to this game. I knew Carolina was bad, and I thought, like we talked about last week, I thought the Falcons were trending up. Now,
Falcons. You're right. The Falcons were trending up, and then this game happened.
Yeah, and it's like it's so.
Did you even look at our pick'em past like the afternoon games?
No.
During the afternoon games.
No,
neither did I.
I'm
looking at it right now for the first time. Yeah, we both got 6 right on the week.
It was a rough week of picks. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So crazy thing is, the Panthers with this win are now the 7th seed in the NFC.
Yeah.
So
I mean, after week 3, that's pretty much where we put them. They might hit that low to mid wild card spot, and then they lost 4 straight, and we're like, oh well, there they go. And what are the Panthers right now as a whole? They're right now they're the 7th seed.
But let's be honest, if Sam Darnold doesn't play this week, and
CMC
doesn't play this week,
they're right back on the track that they were on, which was down.
I would be shocked, like just looking at the standings, I would be shocked, to be honest, if either of these teams made the playoffs. Because I think the Vikings will figure something out and will win some games they should.
Their way in.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just don't see either of these teams making it.
Not with the way the NFC is trending right now, with 4 teams with 1 loss. Yeah.
Yeah.
Panthers bad. Falcons not looking good.
Pretty
Miami
much.
bad, Buffalo look good. Do we want to talk about this game?
Um, Let me just pull up the stats and see if there's anything I want to
Yeah.
touch on. Josh
Josh Allen
Allen.
was leading rusher.
That's all I was gonna say. He looks good.
Tua's back. He didn't look amazing. Tua's back again. Say, still back.
I feel bad for the Dolphins. They started out 1-0 and have lost 7 straight. Yeah, they're pretty much at this point. I mean, they're looking at a top 5 pick. So
Yeah. Oh, the first half of this game was interesting.
it
I will say
was.
that
It was
much.
3-3 right at halftime.
3-3 at half.
And I
And
was like,
then-
oh, Miami to upset Buffalo?
And then no.
And then no.
And then Buffalo remembered, oh yeah, we're actually good at this game.
Yeah, man, I don't know. This is a very interesting situation. So
It's just bad Dolphins.
and then the next game, San Francisco went into Chicago and won. They won 33-22.
Justin Fields was leading rusher.
Justin Fields looked better.
Justin Fields looked better. He's trending in the right direction.
He needs to take what he learned in this game and build on it. He has to.
I feel like he keeps on the spot where he's at. He's taking like 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. He's moving forward. It's just he's doing a lot wrong still.
He either takes 3 forward, 2 back, or 2 forward, 3 back. Like like figure it out. Like
Pick
we're
a
going into
direction.
week 9. Like you got to start figuring this out.
Yeah, I still like him as the, I still like him as the Bears starter over the other options for the sake of longevity on that team. Andy Dalton's not going to stick around. Nick Foles isn't going to stick around. Justin Fields is the future for them. Should be the future for them in my eyes.
They need offensive line help. I just looked it up. He's been sacked 26 times this season.
He's only played a couple games. God.
Yeah, he's been sacked 26 times, including 9 times against the Browns.
He's only played 4 games, 5 games
Mm-mm.
this season.
He's played technically in all 8 games.
Started.
Um,
I think he's only started
7.
like 5 at most. He started 7 games this year?
Yeah.
He didn't start until like week 4.
Week 2. Then he got injured in a game.
Oh, that's
And then they were like,
okay.
oh, he's probably done. And then they were like, no, he's healthy. He's starting again.
Okay. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I don't know. Justin Fields needs help with his offensive line. Like, I
Justin
think
Fields-
the running backs that they have, like Montgomery, Khalil Herbert, Damian Williams, like this group of guys they have is perfect. The wide receivers, they're slowly starting to like figure it out. Justin Fields is slowly starting to figure it out. But like, you're not going to win when your quarterback is sacked 26 times. I'll say through 8 games because the first game he threw twice. And that's it. So like,
Was he sacked in that game?
no.
Okay. Then yeah.
So yeah,
Oh,
26 through 8 games.
Including 4.
Sorry, wait. No, 7. Sorry. 26 through 7. I apologize.
It keeps getting worse the more you look at it.
It's almost 4 times.
He
He
needs
needs
help.
help.
I mean, that's not all on the offensive line, but he can only do so much whenever he's got 2 guys in his face every play.
Yeah, it's hard to have even if like Tom Brady's really good, but
If you put Aaron Donald and
Von Miller,
Von Miller in his face, he's not going to do great.
yeah. So Justin Fields needs help at the O line. It's the only way that this team is going to get successful.
Yes,
So
and
they
that goes
need to
for rushing
draft.
as well.
They need to draft.
Yeah.
A few offensive
they
linemen
still-
in next draft.
They have an albeit slim chance, but they still have a decent chance to make a run this year.
Correct.
Statistically, I guess is the best way to put that.
On the other side, the 49ers, it's the same thing that I've always talked about with them. They are a quarterback away from being a great team.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. I mean, Deebo Samuel is their obvious number 1 at this point, considering he gets majority of the targets every game and also 3 times as many yards as the next receiver every game, just about most games.
Yeah.
Sanu is a great second. Ayuk, we've been waiting for him to break out. Hasty's not bad as coming out of the backfield. And their run game is not horrible. The run game's good.
I mean, we knew the run game was going to be good this season because we thought it would be Mostert, but then Mostert along with the other 76 players this season, tore his ACL. So
along with half of the running back core in the NFL.
True. Like, it's the same thing, man. I sigh like 4 times, but it's so frustrating because
It is.
if Garoppolo was just better, this
If
team would
Garoppolo
not
was
be
just
3 and
better.
4.
If Garoppolo is what they thought they were whenever they got him from Patriots, if he was that Garoppolo, this team is solid. Is a solid, probably
100%.
5-2, if not better. Yeah, they're a quarterback away. Not to say that Garoppolo's not the guy, but Garoppolo's not looking like the guy.
And I don't think Trey Lance is it either. So
Unless they want to do the 2 quarterback system that did horrible the first couple games they tried
yeah,
that.
please don't. Just don't
This
do
ain't
that.
college. It don't work in.
Yeah, so Bears, they have glimpses of hope, but they need help. And the 49ers are, like, to me, like, super close to
They're
being
there.
a relevant team.
They're there with an asterisk with it, almost.
And then,
They're the closest team to being a complete team. That's not currently a complete.
100%. I would agree. Then we jump to a team that I thought was good. And Cleveland let Pittsburgh into their home, and lost 15-10.
This game made me mad for multiple different reasons.
Was one of them betting?
The main reason was because I picked the Browns. I normally don't do this, so I don't know why I did it. And now, of course, this is why I don't do it. I picked the Browns in 3 different survivors. I'm now out of all those survivors.
That's not good.
No, I usually don't pick the same team because if something like this happens. The Browns should have won this game, but should have doesn't always mean will, or it does. What happened in this game other than Baker couldn't find the end zone?
I really think it's a problem with Baker. I don't think it's his injury. I think it's more of like a mental thing. Like, this season he hasn't looked like the same Baker from like last season's Baker.
Would have won this game.
Really good, right? Like 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions last season. Right now, through 7 games, he is 6-3.
Last season he did that in a game. Would have done that in a game.
He hasn't even thrown a touchdown per game he's played. Like,
no, he is.
What?
So I'm saying, why can't he find the end zone? I wonder how much of that has to do.
I don't think where I think you're gonna go with what you're about to say. Like, I don't think it's like the Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry like issue. I don't think it's anything to deal with them.
No, I don't think to do with that. I'm questioning how much does that have to do with why am I blanking on dude's name, the running back that's currently out for them.
Nick Chubb's back.
No,
Kareem Hunt.
One. Thank you. I wonder how much that has to do with he doesn't have Kareem Hunt out of the backfield, or that safety net of just Kareem Hunt, the athlete, not being there. Because I agree with you, it is a mental thing, but what about it is, because it could be the shoulder injury. He's afraid to make those more outstanding plays or try to roll out the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
It could be he doesn't have that safety net of Kareem Hunt behind him. He's still got Nick Chubb, who is a damn good running back, one of the better running backs in the league to me. Not acting like it, but is. I mean, we saw what D'Ernest Johnson did last week. It's not like they don't have what's there, so I don't think it's
like, we know it's not the run game, right?
No.
Like, it's literally,
and it's not their receivers. They have plenty of people to throw it to out of the backfield or receivers or tight end. They've got 8 guys they can throw this ball to every single play.
and let's be honest, if your defense gives up 15 points, like,
you should win a game.
Exactly.
You should win a game. If I tell you have Nick Chubb, Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham, and Baker Mayfield, you should win every single game you have if your opponent is putting up 15 points. You should be able to figure out how to get 3 touchdowns with that team.
I don't know. I'm worried about the Browns, to be honest.
I'm worried about the Browns. I wasn't worried about them.
Not looking great. So
I was very, very high on the Browns, more so than previous, after last week with what they did without Nick Chubb and without Kareem Hunt.
And without Baker. Like,
and without Baker.
Yeah, they beat the Broncos, who are bad, by 3, but like, without all these pieces, they ended up winning. Like, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
But they Let's be honest.
They looked worse with their starters this week than they did last week with their backups.
100%. Let's be honest though.
Which
They lost to the
nice.
Chargers 4 weeks ago, right? In that really
Yeah.
close game that I think they should have won. Then they get smacked by the Cardinals, barely beat the Broncos, then lose to the Steelers. To be honest with you, if that Broncos game was anyone else, they'd be on a 4-game losing streak.
Yes. The way it's looking right now, yes, they are a 4-4 team that looks much worse than 4 right now.
Yeah, so I think Baker's got to get it together. On the other side,
They're not great.
the Steelers' defense is playing really well.
The Steelers' defense is doing great, and I'm happy. I think I've said this now like 3rd week in a row now. I'm glad to see Najee Harris doing what Najee Harris is supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
As a rookie running back, he's coming in, putting up close to 100 yards a game and scoring every game. He's done very well as of late.
It's definitely what Roethlisberger needs to basically make it to where he doesn't get hit.
Yeah. He needed that somebody he can count on to, okay, you get hit. But still do something with the ball, please.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't think Roethlisberger is the answer. I don't think they can make a playoff run. But
I definitely not in this division. Well, I mean, maybe with the Browns being the way that the Browns are being right now. No, because they still have no. Right now, neither of these teams make the playoffs if they can the way they're going.
I mean, as of right now, the Steelers are the 6th seed.
That'll change in 6 weeks.
But you have to think they're 4-3, and the 7 through 11 seeds are Chargers, Patriots, Chiefs, Browns, Broncos. But they're all 4-3 or 4-4. Like they're literally right there.
They're all the same. They have tiebreakers over all of them. So in 3 weeks, if they go 1-2 in those 3 weeks, they're gonna fall down to that 10th spot.
Yeah. So I don't know.
AFC is so competitive this year.
It is, and it's weird to say before the season, a team like the Browns is sitting at the current 10th seed.
And they're still only, if they have one more win, they're like the 4th seed.
Pretty much.
Yeah. This
technically, if they win this week and the Ravens lose, I think they do jump up to the 5th seed. They may even jump to the 3rd seed. I don't know.
The 1st seed Titans down to the 11th seed Broncos is separated by 2 games, 2 wins.
That hurts my brain.
So in 2 weeks, this could be completely flipped.
I don't like it. I mean, I love it.
Very different.
But I also don't like it because it's very stressful for no reason. Don't really want
to happen really quick.
Don't really want to talk about the next game. The Eagles went into Detroit. The Lions forgot to show up at the stadium.
The Lions no, it was Halloween. They dressed up as a football team.
Oh, that's right. The Eagles won 44-6. Their run game showed up without Miles Sanders. They made some turnovers. The Lions looked like the Lions. That's about it.
One of probably the most exciting game for me.
Yep.
Tennessee and Indianapolis.
This game,
a game that should not have gone into overtime, but also should have gone into overtime for so many different reasons.
So for anyone who doesn't know, the score was Tennessee won in OT, 34-31 in Indianapolis. And we both agree that before the game, Tennessee should have won this game. So obviously they did. Awesome.
They should have won by 10 in regulation.
I agree. But also, the Colts are slowly, to me, even Carson Wentz, they're all just starting to get it, dial it in.
And as much as I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that Derrick Henry didn't get to play the whole game, I think that changes the way this game goes, but obviously that happens. But this is exactly what we were talking about before we started talking about any of the games. Even without Derrick Henry, they will still find production through the air.
He played through the entire game. He should not have probably played the entire game. He played in the overtime drive.
How much of this game was he at 100%? When did that injury happen?
That's a question that I cannot answer.
Yeah.
But he played into overtime. So he played the entire game. 100%? We're going to say no.
If Derrick Henry was 100% Derrick Henry this whole game, this game goes differently. But that's the way these things work out. Injuries
Mhm.
happen, key players get taken out, you change your game plan for whatever reason, but they
Th
still got it done through
They
the
didn't
air.
even have Julio Jones in this game.
Yeah, so
It
I'm
They didn't have Julio
not worried
Jones,
about the
and they didn't
Picks.
have 100% Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
We'll say 70% Derrick Henry. So they had
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, like,
And
they
AJ
win.
Brown cannot be stopped.
No, he's healthy. He's doing what we thought he was going to do at the beginning of the season. Like,
Yeah.
the Titans are a good team. It sucks they lost
Right.
Derrick Henry. Obviously, I would say by far the best running back in the league.
Yes.
So
But that for me, that takes them to the right now, the way the league's looking, the surefire #1 team in the league to like they're still in the top 3.
I would probably move them to like third or fourth seed in the AFC, just because the other division winners I think are going to keep winning, and they're
Mhm.
probably going to drop a game or two that they shouldn't, but it's
That's
going to
fair.
happen. But
I'm waiting for I just want Adrian Peterson to come out and have like 28 carries, 182 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
I I wouldn't be shocked, to be honest,
Yeah.
dude. The Tennessee offensive line is so good.
It
So
allows you to be able to do things like this with I think he's like what 32, 33-year-old Adrian Peterson.
46, no idea.
He's up there. He's not Derrick Henry. He's what Derrick Henry's going to be in 10 years, and Derrick Henry is what Adrian Peterson was 10 years ago. So they're literally replacing Derrick Henry with a 10-year-old version of himself.
Yeah, we're gonna see what Derrick Henry will play like in like 8 years.
Yeah. But on the other side of the ball, like you were saying a minute ago, Indy is figuring it out. And
I
as
feel
much as
bad
in
that
our
they're
friend
three and
group,
five.
they are a much different team now than they were a month ago. The way they look, the way it looks like they have some kind of consistency and some kind of chemistry. And as much as in our friend group, we talk so much shit about Carson Wentz breaking both or tearing whatever both ankles in the same play. He brings it on himself. But I was gonna say he looked bad from the stat line, but when you throw it 51 times, something's bound to happen. But that's what they had to do in this game. They had to just keep lobbing it up and hope for those 15, 20-yard plays.
Want to let you know,
And it worked out for him.
before this game, he was on a 5-game streak of 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
He's kind of under the radar right now because
He,
the Colts are under the radar right
he
now.
is slowly. I'm not gonna say that he's there yet, but slowly getting back to that MVP season, like being very accurate, not throwing picks, making plays on the like through his like using his legs when he needs to. Like
I mean, even now, what is he this on the season?
he's 14 touchdowns, 3
14 throws.
interceptions. Like he threw before this game, he was 11-1. Like I
I'm
will
still
take
happy
that.
with 14-3.
True, I
Like
will
that.
take 14-3.
Yeah. So did any of those interceptions end up hurting him? Is my only
Yes.
question.
The second
Yes.
interception he threw
Yep.
was by far, I'm going to call it a Patrick Mahomes interception,
The way he's looking right now.
because he was about to get sacked in the end zone. I get it.
And
You
it
take a
just
safety,
yeah.
right? You don't want to do that. He threw it, if I remember quickly, with his non-dominant hand,
Offhand.
and it kind of just flew in the
It
air.
rainbowed about 6 yards.
And then the defender was like, "Oh,
Oh,
I'm in the end zone." So,
and that was his first interception. The second interception came in overtime. That
which
one was a bad one.
that was a bad throw. They're both bad
That was
interceptions. Obviously,
they're
one of them
both
turned into a touchdown, and the other one
yeah,
lost them the
turned
game.
into yeah. But if he had taken that safety, they would have given the ball back. It wouldn't have been as bad. It may not have been as bad. Tennessee would have got the ball back with like a minute and a half. I don't know how many timeouts they had at the time, so that still may have been the nail. So maybe the
Yeah.
interception was the right move because they got the ball back immediately. Maybe it was a 500 IQ play that we're just not
I
understanding.
think Carson Wentz needs to learn to throw the ball away correctly.
Yes. Yes.
So I don't know. I think the Colts are trending in the right direction. The Titans take a hit. I think they dip a little bit, but I think they'll rebound, unlike other teams. So
Yes. They are. Yeah. They're. Although we like to say this a lot, trending in the right direction, but it's the best way we compare them to themselves.
I don't want to talk about this next game. I just don't. Because why did the Bengals go into New York and lose to the Jets? Sorry,
Jets
let me phrase that. Why did they go and lose to the Mike White-led Jets? That was his first NFL start, and he beat the Bengals.
I saw
a team that I thought was going to be the best team in the AFC.
So this is not a direct comparison, but you know who he's being compared to because of his one game on his professional career.
Oh,
You know what? Carson Wentz, Cam Newton. He's the only Cam Newton is the only other quarterback to throw for over 400 yards, 3 touchdowns in their first start.
So when does Mike White become MVP?
I think it took Cam Newton about 3 years.
All right, Zach Wilson, you're out of there. Sorry, bud. You're no longer a Jet.
I mean, if I'm looking at this correctly, after this game, Mike White is the 11th best passer in the league right now in terms of yards. At 607. Am I looking at that right?
Hold on. That does not seem
That
right.
does not sound right.
Stats? Passing leaders? No.
Okay.
No. Mike White is 35th.
Okay. So what am I looking at here?
I have no idea what you're looking at.
If you go to Mike White's player profile.
Yeah.
21 season stats. 607 yards, 11.
Wait.
So I just ignore quote. No, you see that?
Where's that at? 607?
Top right. What is the 11th under that? Is that not supposed to be?
That seems worrisome.
That seems wrong.
Because it shows. Yeah, that's wrong. 100%.
Okay. So I had bad intel. That's my fault. But he looked great against a really good Bengals team.
I don't know what to think of this game.
I just want to. The Jets 2 wins this year. They're 2-5.
Don't bring it up.
Oh, their other good wins are going to be like the Jaguars and maybe the Patriots early in the season.
Don't bring it up.
Their 2 wins are against the Bengals and the Titans.
You brought it up.
Because it doesn't make any sense. This whole season just does not make sense the way that it's playing out right now. Just as a whole. Yeah, exactly. It's been one of the more entertaining seasons we had, and I feel like we kind of knew that was going to be the case considering the season we had last year. But I didn't expect this.
The Bengals need to bounce back next week because I still think they're a good team. Like they lost the Jets.
Bengals
I get it.
good. Well, so did the Titans. So I don't know how to take this loss for the Bengals.
Yeah, because I remember on that episode after the Titans lost to the Jets, you said, "I'm worried." Well,
yeah,
did not go the same way. So I think we're both on this one going. It happens.
I'm just gonna let it play out.
It happens. If the Bengals look worse next week,
I might look into it a little bit
they
more.
play the Browns. They should win. If they lose to how the...
I'm not even going to say that. I'm not saying that at all. Because the Browns are the kind of team... we just talked about all the different weapons they have, all the different pieces they have.
They put up 10 points. And the Bengals lost to the Jets. Sorry,
so how are you
the Bengals lost to Mike White.
The Bengals lost to Mike White. And I also want to shout out, who was it? Carter. What's his first name? Michael Carter. Pretty good game for him, too.
Yeah, just, 15-77 and a touchdown on the ground and then 9 for 95 in the air. No big deal.
Pretty good for somebody who's...
It's only like 31 fantasy points.
Yeah, and I got to play him in one of my leagues.
Oh,
I saw it going into this week. I'm like, who the heck is Mike Carter? The Jets running back. Okay, cool.
Then you went, oh, that's Mike Carter.
And then we saw this, and then that, that's...
I don't know. This game did not end anywhere close to how I thought I was going to end. But
No.
The thing is like, with a game like this, I don't know what to take away from it, right? Because, yeah, Mike White played really well. Awesome for the Jets. Cincinnati did not play well. That sucks. But, I don't know if the Jets are good or not. Is Mike White the next Tom Brady? Or is he just is he just going to be a All right, played well once. See ya.
He's either going to fall into the category of consistent starter,
Or
not
consistent
400,
backup.
or consistent backup. Like he is giving me very much early career Nick Foles vibes, where he's really really good when you need him, but we're not going to use him very much.
I think
Or
with
like kind of like how Ryan Fitzpatrick is. I'm waiting for Mike White to have his 500 yards, 5 touchdown game, and then the next week, 122 yards, 3 interceptions.
I think with both these teams, we just need to see what happens next week and
I
see
don't not pick this game.
and just see what direction they're heading.
Yeah,
The next game, don't really feel like talking about it too much. The Rams, the score line is 38-22, but
the Rams are playing with them.
The Texans scored all 22 points in the last 8 minutes of the game. So like,
The Rams were playing.
yeah, it was 38-0. Like
It's
they
like when you're playing with like the little neighbor across the yard, across the street, and you're like, you don't want him to feel bad that you just pummeled him like 82-6.
so you like fall over.
Yeah, and
You're like,
drop the ball.
oh, you scored.
Good job,
And the
buddy.
Texans were like, yeah,
You're
well,
up
we
10.
scored again. And they were like, calm down.
Didn't they get an onside kick in this
Yeah.
game too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were just playing with them. The Rams gave up at the end of the third quarter and was just like, "Yeah, y'all have fun. We'll be here."
Yeah. So, Rams are good. Texans aren't. This game didn't make sense to me. I mean, well,
Patriots, Chargers. Chargers are looking a little down. Patriots are looking a little up. It's still not what I expected. Mac Jones didn't have flashy game. He had a better game than Justin Herbert. They almost had the exact same stat line, except
the touchdowns.
Justin Herbert had 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Okay.
This seems more like a Justin Herbert lost the game more than like a Mac Jones won the game type of situation.
Yes. Let's just see real quick.
Or like Mac Jones didn't lose the game by not throwing any picks.
Right. Let's see how detrimental those 2 interceptions were. Interception, Patriots got a field goal. Interception was a pick six.
Yeah. So 10 points.
Yeah. 10 points. Yeah. That right
24-17. But like,
that right there is enough.
What are the chances that Mac Jones throws a touchdown on one of those drives, right? And it turns into 24-24. That's very likely. But then the game goes to overtime. I don't know. I feel like the Chargers haven't looked good for a couple weeks.
Chargers are on a downswing. I mean, they got pummeled by the Ravens. They shouldn't have beat the Browns. And then this game.
It's weird because when they were 4-1, I was like, "Oh, Justin Herbert, MVP."
Look out for the Chargers.
And now I'm like,
I'm not too scared of the Chargers like I was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm still scared of them. They hell out of the Falcons right now. But
so could a lot of teams, to be honest.
Yeah, about 28 of them. I'm just not as high on the Chargers. Not to say that they can't bounce back. They are 1 game back in the division.
Yeah.
And only half a game up on the rest of the division.
I don't know.
This is another one like similar to how we just said about the Bengals and the Jets. Like, I'm not sure how to take this game. Because nothing about the Patriots screams, "Oh, they're a good team right now."
Like, Mac Jones has been playing better and better. Obviously, he didn't throw any touchdowns in this game, but he is slowly starting to figure out the NFL, right? It's rookie, like, growing pains, right? So, like, this makes sense. He's getting better.
Yes.
I did not think that he would go into LA and beat Justin Herbert.
No. Not even as close as this game was. I didn't think that they would be able to sneak out of there.
And the Patriots are currently the 8th seed. I honestly think that they're going to squeak into the playoffs.
The way that it's going right now, yes.
But I think they squeak in at 7.
They're in that same range that we just talked about, where the first team and the 10th team, 11th team, are all within 2 games of each other.
Yeah.
So
what a dumb
it's such a weird way to look at it that if they don't win the division, if they lose the division by 1 game, they might barely make the 7th seed if they make the 7th seed at this point.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think both these teams still make playoffs, but I don't. Six
Where?
and 7 seed. Because honestly, like I honestly do see Titans, Raiders, Ravens, Bills, Bengals, then Chargers, Patriots. Like I think the Steelers are the team that falls out because I don't think the Chiefs make it.
That's not. I mean, that's a good prediction, but I'd go one step further and say there's 8 teams right now that could end up in any 8 spots.
There's 10.
There's 10 teams that
I really think 1 through
I'm not
10.
counting the Broncos. I'm not counting.
100%. I think 1 through 10 have a solid chance of making
Yes.
any of the spots of the playoffs. Where? That we'll let it play out.
There's a few teams that I'm putting on the higher end and a few teams put on the lower end. But like even still, at the way it's going, I would not surprise me if the Patriots somehow sneak in and win their division.
I hope not, dude.
But at the same time, there's no way the Bills lose their division.
Right.
So same thing with the Ravens and the Bengals. Same thing with the Raiders. Like AFC's good. I don't.
AFC is good.
I'm glad it's the AFC.
But to a team that is not good in the AFC, Jacksonville went into Seattle,
top 3 pick,
scored a touchdown in the fourth quarter, and said, "Yeah, that'll do." And they lost to Seattle 31-7. Don't want to talk about this too much. Like,
well, okay, I will say this: they did score a touchdown. Congratulations. It took all of 6 seconds for that touchdown to be answered because they tried to kick an onside kick while down 3 possessions with less than 2 minutes left, and it got taken back. So, I guess
things couldn't get worse.
Yeah, like what was the plan there? They get the onside kick and go down and score in 20 seconds, do it again, and then again, and then again.
I also think you practice onside kicks too in like a game setting.
Yeah.
It helps.
I mean, why not? Well, they saw what not to do.
Yeah, whatever you guys did there, don't do it again. All of that, just don't.
Yeah.
But like Geno Smith looked good.
Good.
But let's be honest, when Russell Wilson's healthy,
he's better than Geno Smith.
He's gonna take over. So like, it doesn't really. This is just all Seattle needs is Geno to just get them any wins he can until Russell Wilson comes back.
Yeah, and then make their run with Russell Wilson.
Which
they got 2 tough games right now coming up.
Wouldn't be shocked if he ends up getting into the playoffs as the 7th seed at like 7-9.
7-10.
Oh. Okay, all right.
Put it. Yeah. It's Geno Smith. Yeah, get as many wins as you can. At best, it's week 10 for Russell Wilson, so that'd put them against the Cardinals.
Yeah.
His first week back.
Mm-hmm.
So Packers got a bye this week, is what I'm hearing. Next game.
Yikes. Speaking
Washington,
to
Denver.
a game that should never be played. Washington went into Denver and lost 10-17 in a thriller. Washington just needs. I feel bad for Mr. Hines Ketchup, but like Fitzmagic needs to come back. Like he has to for this team.
There's no reason the Broncos should have won this game. But Washington looks so much better.
But there's also
not with Heineke.
There's also no reason that Washington should win this game either.
No, that's also true.
This was just a game of who would shoot themselves in the foot more. And
it happened to be
Washington.
Man, they're both bad. Even with Fitzpatrick, it's going to take everything. It's literally going to take winning out to make playoffs at this point.
Yes, I agree. Unfortunately for them. This game.
Another one, I'd probably put this at number 2 for entertaining games of the
week.
Number 3 at entertaining games of the week.
1 quarter Winston led to the 3-quarter Simeon led Saints. Had Tampa Bay show up, and they
did really good.
They played well,
won.
Almost lost it by letting a wide receiver 50 yards down the field wide open. It was like, hey, go stand over there. I'm going to throw you the ball. We're going to play catch. Like, that's what it looked like. He was just there.
That was if you can catch this, we go home for the end of the day, and nobody tries to stop him. I don't know why. It happened that
I
way.
feel bad that Winston got injured.
Yeah, that sucks. That was a lot of momentum for the Saints that was needed. But then, I mean, how bad is it really? I mean, it's bad. I'd much rather have Jameis Winston in the game, but
Trevor Siemian
Trevor
has
Siemian didn't
not
do
been
bad.
like he played well in this game, right? I'll give him that.
Yes,
I'm not going to take that away from him. He played well.
but that's not his
But
his thing.
he played his very first season, he played one game and didn't throw any passes, so I don't know what he did in that game. 2016, he played 14 games, had an 18 touchdown to 10 interceptions. Not terrible, right? Then he got sacked 31 times. Then in 2017, he played 11 games, threw 12 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, and was sacked 33 times. Then that, I think, is when Drew Lock came in, so he lost his job to Drew Lock. So that's already not a good sign. Then 2018, he wasn't on a roster or didn't play any games. 2019, he goes to the Jets. Obviously, that's a fiasco. Done there. Then finally back to playing again in New Orleans.
And he came in and he did just enough.
Man,
That's he did just enough and let the defense and Kamara in this game.
I think if Sean Payton can get Simeon to figure it out, honestly, this Saints team can still make playoffs. But everything is going to rely on Simeon.
Yeah.
And if he starts playing bad, I guarantee you Taysom Hill takes over when he gets back from injury.
I mean, it was between Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston going into this season,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm surprised Taysom Hill didn't come into this game.
He's been injured. That's why.
That is true.
He hasn't been playing.
It's kind of hard to play.
Yeah. Ask Winston that.
Yeah. I mean, he came in and did just enough. They won the game. The Bucks.
This is the thing. This is the thing that people were pointing out at the beginning of the season with the Bucks is they have a lot of injuries at one specific spot on the defense, and it's their secondary, and they keep getting torched.
Yeah.
Like,
whenever you say torch, I know you mean that there's just that are wide open.
Yes, that's what I mean. Sorry,
get burned all the time.
Torch is probably definitely the wrong term, but like,
I got you.
They're like an 80% built team.
Yeah, which I mean, coming into the season, they returned every single one of their starters. I don't know how many times we've said that.
And then injury, and then injury, and then injury.
Injury bug.
You have to figure, like, they're 6-2.
That's pretty good to me.
Not that big of a deal. But when you lose to Trevor Siemian,
that throws out some question marks for me.
If you told me, Eddie, right, before this week, you went, you know what, Justin? Trevor Siemian is going to take over in the middle of the game, and he's going to beat Tom Brady.
And win.
I would say, give me all your money.
Yeah, no. That's not a headline that should be real, but it is. I would not be shocked because of the Bucks injury bug in the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be shocked at the end of the season. This game is the reason they don't win the division.
That's completely fair. I can understand that 100%.
Because Bucks go on bye next week, 2 weeks from now.
It's this week. This upcoming week 9.
Okay. The Saints win. The Saints are leaders of the division.
Mm-hmm. They play again later in the season, so and it's in Tampa. But
I don't know. That this became a more interesting matchup than it was Sunday morning.
When Winston got injured, I did not think they had a chance. Yep.
I don't think anyone thought they had a chance. They shouldn't have had a chance.
Tom Brady looks good. The Bucks defense does not.
Yeah, that is that. If it was just offense versus offense, Bucks win 99 out of 100 times.
But since football has, both sides of the ball, they lose. So I don't. It's hard to see. I think the Saints should be trending in the right direction. It just depends on Simeon and the Bucks. They need to figure out their defensive woes. They really do. They probably don't
Yeah.
get all of next week off. Let's be honest.
They didn't make any
Mm-mm.
trades to help them out either.
No.
Which I mean, I guess there's. It's not to say that they don't have some guys that will end up coming back, but they've got a handful that are on IR that will not for sure come back.
Yeah.
So Bucks are in a really weird spot. They're in a really good spot, but it's just I feel like they're at the bend don't break right now,
Mm-hmm.
where it's gonna take just a little bit more.
The Bucks need to figure it out, man. That's if they want to go back to back. Back to back to back? No, just back to back.
Back to back, too.
Yeah. They have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Mr. Cooper Rush led the
Your
Dallas
team.
Cowboys into Minnesota and won 20-16.
Cooper Rush wasn't even the best quarterback in this game.
No,
Cedric Wilson.
100%. Did you see his throw, by the way?
Yes.
Dude, on the run,
It was
like
gorgeous.
bullet, and I'm like, wait
a second.
Maybe you should be the
That-
guy.
That was one of the better passes all week.
It really was.
It would have been Kyler Murray to AJ Green. Anyway.
My takeaway from the Cowboys is like this is like a big morale victory. Like, yeah, Dak's not playing. We understand it's a long season. We want Dak there for the playoff run. Obviously, don't play him, right? We were 5-1. Sit him. If we lose, we're 5-2. We're still in a good spot.
Yeah.
So this is
Game
just a
doesn't
big
hurt
like a big morale victory for the team. Like, yeah, we can do it without Dak.
There was never a point in this game where I thought, oh yeah, they're gonna lose this game. It got really hairy there at the 2-minute warning. That was probably about the only time that faith was at an all-time low for the Cowboys.
I don't know if
But
you know this fact about the Kirk Cousins passing chart for this game.
This game,
He completed 23 passes, right?
Mhm.
11 of them were behind the line of scrimmage.
whoa,
You
half of his passes weren't forward.
correct.
Half of his completions weren't forward.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like,
That's
yeah,
not
he
how
completed
that
11
works.
passes, but you're not setting up the team to win.
When the
So, like,
receiver catches the ball half of the time, 3 yards behind where you started,
and he's
that's not-
averaging 5 yards after catch, you're only going to gain 2 yards on the play.
math.
You
I mean,
You do
it
that 3
almost
times?
worked out. It
You're-
almost worked out,
do that 3 times, you're over halfway to the first down.
but you got a punt.
Ugh. So I think this is
That's
an
odd
issue.
strategy.
I think this is an issue that Mike Zimmer is screwing over the Vikings.
We've seen Mike Zimmer be a questionable captain of the team, leader of
True.
the team
True.
in the past. So it's not like that comes to a surprise to most people, probably. But I mean, is Kirk Cousins? This is the first week you didn't, in a while at least, that you didn't look at this game look at the Vikings game first thing and say Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. It's because he didn't look good this time.
But he also
I'll give you
didn't.
that.
He also didn't look bad. That's the thing. Is he just looked mediocre? But if the game plan is to throw behind the line of scrimmage, no quarterback's going to be successful, unless you're throwing to like a Derrick Henry who can run 70 guys over.
Yeah, and up until the 60th minute of this game, it was working.
Somehow, they're very lucky that Dak wasn't playing.
Yeah, no, that's a different story. But that's not how this game played out.
So, as much as
2
like I
turnovers
like to harp on
had.
Kirk Cousins, the game
It
plan did
worked.
not set him up for success.
No, it worked, but it didn't. That kind of game plan is only going to work if you have the right pieces, i.e., Derrick Henry or Derrick Henry-esque,
Mm-hmm.
or the team you're playing just doesn't know how to deal with defense on the
Mhm.
flats.
And the Cowboys this season have
Not that to try that against.
the Cowboys this season have had the most secure tackling that I have seen from this team in the last like 9 years.
Yeah.
Like open field tackling, like one-on-one, I would guarantee you, I would put money that we are hitting at least 85% of our one-on-one tackling.
Yeah.
Like that, you will win games just by doing that.
You mean by stopping them from going an extra 35
That's
yards?
crazy.
Yeah. Thank you, John Madden, for your fact.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm pretty insane.
Vikings are still.
It's hard,
Vikings
right?
are still the weirdest team. We've been saying like this season is very odd. The Vikings are like the poster boy for the odd season right now.
Almost beat the Bengals. Almost beat the Cardinals. Beat the Seahawks. Almost beat the Browns. Barely beat the Lions. Barely beat the Panthers. Barely lost to the Cowboys. This team could be 1-6 or 6-7-0.
Yeah. They're 3-4. And their point differential is +6. Now you think, okay, they had some really good beats, they had some really bad losses. That's how that evens out. No,
they're just so close every time, and they just don't.
Or they barely do.
I think the Vikings' issue is Mike Zimmer. I really do.
Mike Zimmer is yeah.
Like if Kirk Cousins was playing bad this season, I would say it's him. Again, you know me, right? I would point out Kirk Cousins in a heartbeat.
You hate Kirk Cousins that he's getting paid like $33 million.
$80 million over 4 years when he first started with them. Anyways.
Yeah.
So I think the Vikings. I think they might squeak into the playoffs, and I think the Cowboys.
They're not gonna win the division.
The Cowboys will win the division because the rest of it is trash.
Yeah.
Speaking
it's nice being the shiny third
of a trash team, the Giants went into Kansas City and
another game
barely lost.
Another game of what the heck was this? On this week of what the heck is this game? This game should not have ever been as close as it was. I know the Chiefs are struggling, but the Giants are bad. I didn't think they'd be struggling. I'm more concerned. They won the game, and I'm more concerned about the Chiefs.
I agree. I don't know.
How this goes.
I don't know what's up with the Chiefs, man. I really don't. I don't really feel like spending too much time on this because it's a broken record at this point.
Yeah.
Like, what is up with the Chiefs? Like, if someone is like willing to break it down for us, like, please do. Like, if there is some expert analysis somewhere that like really breaks down what's going on with the Chiefs, like, send it our way. But it is just
bad. This was Patrick Mahomes. Last thing I'll say, this was Patrick Mahomes' like second worst game of the year in terms of completions and touchdown interception ratio.
It was. Wow. That's crazy.
It's his second lowest QBR game. And they won. I'm gonna say it's the lowest because that they didn't show up to the Titans game at all.
That's fair.
This is the worst game that he's at all season where they can, and it's not close.
The Chiefs, again, like, I don't want to sit here and say it over and over. The Chiefs just look bad, man. Record. And the Giants, everyone knows the Giants are bad. So, like, there's no point in this, like, talking about it too
this
much.
Was the most surprising week.
So
it ended the way I thought it would end, but it's the most surprising.
Very, very true.
Either that or the Browns Steelers, because I'm still not sure what that game was.
Yeah. All right. That's week 8. Week 9.
The middle point of the season.
Week 9. Yep. We are after this week. We'll be halfway through the season.
Yeah.
There are 4 teams on bye: Detroit, Seattle, Tampa Bay, Washington. Which sucks because we don't get to see Detroit get smacked. Dang.
The one thing I can count on every week.
All right. We'll jump into it. Jets at Indy. What do you got?
Dude, I don't know.
I'm picking
the Jets
Indy.
Beat two of the better teams in the league. Indy's on the way up.
This is a mediocre team. This is the game that the Jets lose like 44-6.
Yeah, honestly, that sounds about right. I'm picking the Colts.
I'm picking Indy. Cleveland goes to Cincinnati. I'm picking Cincinnati by 7.
Can I do half points?
No. Who are you, Las Vegas? No.
Cincinnati by half. I think Cincinnati wins it just because the Browns need to figure it out, and I don't think this is the team to do it
I
against.
don't think so either. uh, Dallas over Denver. I'm not even gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait a second.
They both lose. Houston and Miami.
He,
Houston at Miami. Wow, I can't wait to see this.
Miami wins just because Tua is a better quarterback than Davis Mills.
Yes. That okay, yeah. I was trying to figure out a way to put it into words, and I didn't want to say because Miami's the home team.
Atlanta goes
Miami
into New Orleans. New Orleans wins. Sorry, man.
New Orleans wins, but I'm gonna say it's closer just because well, no,
Division.
Trevor Siemian looks pretty good and it's New Orleans by 12.
Las Vegas goes to New York and plays the Giants.
Should be Vegas.
I'm taking Vegas. New England at Carolina. I'm taking New England.
Yep.
Buffalo kills the Jags.
Buffalo makes Jacksonville the 33rd or the 33rd best team in the yeah.
Buffalo makes Urban Meyer retire.
Oh boy, that's gonna be a clinic.
Minnesota at Baltimore. Baltimore's coming off a bye week, so
give it to Baltimore.
I'm taking Baltimore. Chargers at
by
Eagles
4 because that's the way the Vikings are doing.
True. Okay, that's a good call. Chargers at Eagles. I'm taking the Chargers in a bounce back game by 5. That's a weird number to say.
No, I'm gonna go with the Eagles. I'm gonna ride with the Eagles on this game.
Oh, okay.
I agree. The Chargers bounce back, but Philly's looking halfway decent right now.
Green Bay at Kansas City.
Green Bay by a mile the way it's looking right now.
Mahomes is gonna throw 3 picks.
Oh.
Arizona at San Francisco. I'm taking Arizona.
Arizona by a half mile.
Tennessee goes into LA and plays the Rams. I'm gonna take the Rams. Just Tennessee's a good team.
I'm taking Tennessee. Adrian Peterson's it's gonna be less production, but I don't think it's so much that they.
You think Von Miller and Aaron Donald are gonna let Adrian Peterson run for 150 yards?
Von Miller and Adrian Peterson have a long history. They got mutual respect for each other. Von Miller lets Adrian Peterson run for one 65-yard touchdown. Adrian Peterson lets him get a sack on a missed block.
Why did you say it like that? Missed block.
I scratch your back, you scratch my back.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm taking Tennessee. It's going to be a thriller.
It's gonna be the best in the week. I'm taking the Rams. Yeah, everyone should be watching Sunday night. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would say all of the primetime games are worth watching because the teams are all evenly matched.
Yes.
So Monday night is Chicago at Pittsburgh. I'm gonna take.
Say it on 3.
When
you're ready.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Steelers.
Bears. Okay.
That was what my gut said.
Yeah, there's a lot. We could look into this game as much as we want to. It's a crapshoot.
If Justin Fields can play decent,
that's why I'm
they will win.
The Bears. I'm still.
But if TJ Watt gets 7,000 sacks,
Justin Fields has been sacked a lot, and TJ Watt is really good at sacking. So that doesn't bode well for him. But I still like Justin Fields. Steelers have a lot of issues. Bears don't have an offensive line.
Week 9 has some good games. I think it's a better set of games than Week 8, but
it's a similar set of games, but it is on the better side.
Yeah,
I still think we're going to see about 4 or 5 blowouts.
Yeah, I agree.
But we're getting to it. Almost halfway through the season. A couple matchups that we've been looking forward to.
Yes, 100%. So, but
unfortunately, right, we can't see.
That is our Week 9 preview. All right, Eddie, it is your time for the fun fact of the episode. Let's jump straight into it. Not waste any time.
For fun, your number 23.
Is this a stat for an offensive player?
No.
A defensive player?
No.
A team overall?
Yes.
Is it dealing with? 23, the most wins in a row a team has had?
You are dead on.
Was it the Patriots?
It's not. It was the Patriots at one point, but the Colts broke it.
Wait, what?
So Colts 2008 2009 went on a 23-game win streak. Lost to the Jets. Mark Sanchez led Jets. That's why I picked this one, because I looked at the stat line of this game. Oh, it's so bad.
Dude,
Oh,
look at
so
these
bad.
players.
I know. So
Mark
many players that
Sanchez, Sean Green,
Joseph Adai, Joe
Jericho
Cotchery.
Cotchery, Braylon Edwards.
Yeah.
The other side, Peyton Manning,
Dallas
Curtis
Clark.
Painter, Joseph Adai, Austin Collie, Dallas Clark, Reggie Wayne.
This is the 2008 Super Bowl winning Colts.
Dude, look at some of these defensive players. Darrell Revis, Sean Ellis, Calvin Pace.
This was peak Revis Island.
Oh my goodness. This is really cool to see. Oh, Adam Vinatieri. Oh, and Jay Feely. What is going? Pat McAfee. This game. What happened?
I had a lot of good time looking at this for like the couple minutes I looked at this game, because like I don't know what led me to this, but found that was the longest streak. It's like, all right, they lost to the Jets. Jets had a couple good years. Good, not great, yeah. And I looked at this. The first thing I saw was Mark 106 yards, butt fumble, beat them, and it wasn't close.
The Colts had a 23-game win streak. So I'm assuming that's like the end.
That's from mid 2008 all the way up into this game, because this was at the end of the 2009 season.
Did they win the Super Bowl? I'm assuming then.
2008, yes.
Okay, so it was at the end of their Super Bowl winning season into their next season. Okay.
Plus an extra 14 games.
Yeah, so they won 9, including the Super Bowl and playoff games. Okay.
Yeah. It was the longest.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
I'll go ahead and pull this back up and put it in chat just to see. This is the team that broke the Patriots record. And so I love looking at this kind of stuff, especially the ones that go back a couple years. I didn't even realize the Colts streak began almost the same time the Patriots streak ended, like a month after.
Whoa.
I didn't even realize that.
That's crazy.
It's also crazy to see some of the other teams that are up here. 2014-2015 Panthers are tied for third. Longest streak.
It says 15-1 and then 7-8-1. They made the playoffs in both those seasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did. Yeah, this is the wait. This isn't the Super Bowl year, is it?
It has to.
It has to be.
They had to wait. Did they win?
No, they did not.
They did not win a Super Bowl.
They went to the Super Bowl and lost like.
Oh, this is regular season games. Regular season games does not include.
Is this only regular season? Okay.
Yes. Okay. My brain was like, they did not win a Super Bowl. This is a lie of a page, but no, it is completely regular season games.
But I'm pretty sure the 2015 Super Bowl, they lost in the Super Bowl 10-24. That's not the game I'm thinking of.
No, if you look at what I got confused by is their record in 2014 was 7-8-1, and they didn't make the Super Bowl.
So how did that equate to? I see.
Yeah, it's regular season.
Last 4
only.
Games plus 14 this year. Okay, yeah.
They were 3-8-1, won 4 games, and made the playoffs.
Yeah, as a wild card.
Oh man, the Chicago Bears beat the Portsmouth Spartans to start their streak, and then lost to the Packers 7-0 to lose their streak.
The Bears started their streak against the Cleveland Rams and then lost to the Packers.
On a tie.
On a tie. It's not a win.
I do not. That triggers me.
The technicality.
You remember that? Why that triggers me?
The ties?
Yes. No, because a tie is not a win streak.
Yeah.
So annoying. Oh man. But
But yeah,
It is the middle of the second of Game 6 of the World Series, so we're gonna jump out of
yes,
here
it is.
so Eddie can go yell at his
Go Braves.
TV and then cry when they win the World Series today.
I'm gonna cry one way or the other.
And, I mean, that's fair.
Oh, if you saw that Wikipedia, last thing I want to say, if you saw that Wikipedia page pulled
Hmm.
up, you scroll down under the regular season
It's a
part,
playoff one, yeah.
it's the longest streaks in the playoffs.
Yeah, Patriots won.
3 in a row. So
Oh
that
no,
makes sense.
not 3 in a row. In 2002, they didn't make the playoffs at all. So technically, the streak did not end.
3 and 4. You're right. Yeah, because it's solely playoff games.
That is interesting.
Wait, also interesting. What is the asterisk? Hold on. Asterisk means season 1 team championship. They won. The Cleveland Browns from 46 to 50 won every year.
Hmm.
And they started they started their streak against the New York Yankees.
No reason they won. That's the baseball team.
Okay then.
And then it comes full circle because they lost to the LA Rams.
All right, let's get out of here.
Alrighty, friends. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. If you are watching us on Twitch or listening to us, we do stream all of our episodes usually every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central at twitch.tv/meme streams 32 teams. You can find us on SoundCloud, Spotify, and YouTube. Just search meme streams 32 teams. And you can find us on Twitter at memes32 teams. Make sure to tweet at us with anything football related. Go Braves. Anything
Braves.
football related, anything related. To be honest, we will tweet back. Unless you're just being an idiot, then we will tweet back and call you an idiot. Again, we appreciate you guys enjoying the content wherever you are digesting it, and we love you guys. And we will see you guys next week after week 9 for episode 51.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Go Braves.